Okay, I'm not sure I fully understand his response.
Well, when you have when you have conversation on here, it's definitely as if you're acting like a therapist, for the people on here who have a lot of this derangement syndrome, and anger, and use really racist, profane terminology all the time. You can actually act as a facilitator for their therapist by absorbing their bullshit, but eventually it impacts your emotional state. It's very, very difficult. There are some really toxic, nasty people out here.
That's why most therapists are in therapy. It's almost mandated to have supervision.
I, I wonder, I am pretty much shocked that people are so toxic. I know there's toxic people, but maybe, you naturally avoid them, like not stepping in next to them when you're walking down the street. But it's a little surprising to me that people are so filled with animus.
Well, they're
Think
mediated
I'm
by that.
toxic, abnormal? Am I toxic?
Not at all. You're the opposite.
A bunch of people said I was.
Well, this is a bit, okay, this is my second psychological insight. It's all because I've been around a while, so I think about these things. This is a really, really, really enormous problem in life. Enormous. People put their sickness on you because they can't deal with it, and it terrifies them and makes them feel just incredibly badly. It depresses them. They can't cope with their own nastiness and ugliness and hate and psychological twistedness, so they project it onto you. You have to really watch out for that. And unfortunately, that's even true with people that you like, that are like your friends in relationships, or your husband or wife. They put it onto you. It's like a judo. It's a really
Yeah, but
bad
if
thing.
you call them out and you say you're projecting onto me, it like nullifies what they're doing, and they become aware of what
Say
they're
it
doing.
again.
I say it all the time where I say you're projecting on me, and then it wakes them up and they go, "Fuck, you're right," or sometimes they deny it.
I think they will mostly deny it if they're still messed up people, and I don't even know if they get it. If you hear it too many times, they don't really, like, all those things where they go, Jews have been thrown out of countries. Like, that's like a BS story that somebody just pulled out of the air. You go take a look at the Palestinians. They were thrown out of Jordan. They were thrown out of Lebanon. They were thrown out of Kuwait. I mean, they were thrown out of Egypt. They were literally, you don't think about this, but they were ejected from every country in the region because they tried to kill the king of Jordan. They killed the president of Lebanon. They took over the president of Egypt and threw him in jail. They went to Kuwait when Kuwait was attacked by Saddam Hussein. They took the side of the attacker in Kuwait. They took the side of the bad guy against their hosts, which is very un-Islamic. So that's one example. Then another example is they say you're committing genocide, when in fact that's what they're doing. And they say it openly if you listen to them. We want to kick you out. We want the whole thing. So all of these things that they accuse, they say every accusation is a confession or whatever. But all of these things that they accuse you of is what they're doing. And part of the reason is they actually, some part of man or humans want to be good, but their superego, their conscience, is just constantly torturing them, telling them you're bad, you're doing the wrong thing, you're doing the wrong thing. So to get around their conscience, they put it onto you. Was that too much, Danny?
No.
It ain't you, it's them.
But where does the cycle of hurt start? Like, it's kind of a egg.
Starts with Jacob and Esau.
Or Cain and Abel.
Yeah.
Or even Adam and Rishon, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the cycle always starts now. That's like the big thing in philosophy is that there's just this eternal now, and when people want to put you in the history, DeLorean to take you on a history time travel machine, that's when I start getting annoyed because I don't care what happened 200 years ago. I care what's happening now. And that's what people do is they use history as propaganda.
It's a justification. Like, I mean, I hate to even touch on this, but people go, well, what about slavery? What about Jim Crow? White people are bad. Dude, I wasn't there. You weren't there. I was in some settle, somewhere, and, you talked about your great-great-grandparents. Like, what are you putting this on me for? Well, now, what is it about the Jews that, like, I don't really go around hating on Germans and Poles particularly. There's something about us that we were able to not carry that around. I mean, I guess the previous generation did. By the way, I mean, I don't love Germans, but I didn't love being in Germany. The whole thing kind of, I didn't like hearing German over the loudspeakers in the airport. It wasn't big, but it was a moment.
Wait, what's that last point you're making about what is it about Jews? Kind of lost the thread.
That we're able to forgive.
Are we though? Maybe most of us are, and maybe that's the explanation for the success and resiliency of our people through the ages. But we have put a spotlight on the people that weren't able to be as resilient, which a strain of.
Yeah, no, that's true. We've taken a few body blows.
For sure.
But look at the U.S. I mean, the Jews are in the U.S. Look, the U.S. is now buddy-buddies with Germany. The U.S. is buddy-buddies with Japan. Like, we turned the whole thing around. Those were two of the most genocidal empires in history, certainly modern history. And now we're buddy-buddies. Like, how did we turn it around?
I don't know. Did we just sign a big arms deal with Germany in the last few days?
We Israel or we the U.S.?
Israel.
It was a $4 billion one, but I heard it went through. It was a defense deal. I also heard there was a lot of information leaked.
Mayor, we've been talking Torah. You would have liked it. I don't know how much you heard. It was good. It was transformed. Mayor knows a lot.
I can read you one of the verses from Tanya if you want to hear it.
Yeah, why not? Anybody object?
Okay, this is called Task of Self. For the matter is very near to you, in your mouth and in your heart, that you may do it. What is the meaning of do it? Why does God manifest the physical world and cloth the ego in the shell of self? The self is a holy flame. The body is the wick, keeping the self grounded in this world. The heart is the oil that saturates the wick and feeds the flame. Acts of kindness are the light the self brings to the world. This is the it you are commanded to do. These are the commentary. Neshama and the Kelipat Naga. Neshama is your egoic intelligence. Nefesh, your physical intelligence. Ruach, your emotional intelligence. Selfless acts of loving kindness. Asiya, the physical world of action, is the densest of all the worlds and the one most in need of illumination. Just as a windowless room can be illumined from within, so Asiya must be illumined from within. You are the vehicle for that illumination, and you accomplish it by doing masim tovim, selfless act of loving kindness. In the world of action, only action matters. Feeling is not enough. Thinking is not enough. You must act. And when you act well, your actions illumine the world.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, Norman, have you ever gotten the feeling that life is like a theatrical play? You know, actors, actresses, and like I think that's more of like the Hinduistic version where it's all theatrical.
It's like an illusion. I mean, I'm a little acty, aren't I? I'm like a little bit of it's a little performance art.
Yeah.
I do it.
I made a poem like that, and then I got it sent to a psychologist in high school.
Well, it's performance.
I mean, Danny, that sounds like a recurring theme in your life.
Yeah, and my dad's a psychologist too.
That probably explains part of it.
I mean, I think the question is, what are you doing for yourself that's positive every day? You know, you have to have some type of renewal or some type of book or something to, you know, course correct your psychology. You have to do actions that are mental health in, you know, basis or some type of therapeutic work. I think reading, I mean, I've been to psychologists, psychiatrists, and when I read Tanya, that's more helpful to me than talking to some psychologist at the VA hospital, you know, who wants to put you on a medication and they have no actual therapy program for you. I mean, I think education is the ultimate form of therapy.
What if, like, a lot of people are just missing God in their life?
You know,
Well, if God is everything, or Allah is just God, I mean, then you're missing the concepts or the knowledge to essentially bring peace into your life. I mean, you know, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, when you learn, you know, about do unto your neighbor as you want to be done unto yourself, I mean, it's a little bit like a high school fight. You know, the question is, who threw the first punch? You know, and in this conflict, it's like, I mean, I don't know, can there be reconciliation with October 7th? Or is this an all or nothing war to end, hopefully forever, this never-ending conflict in that specific area? I mean, even prior to October 7th, with all the rockets and everything else, it's like, you know, you know, they're not treating us the way that we want to treat them. So it's like, you know, that's the thing about all these free pally people. It's like, you know, I don't know, when can Israel possibly, you know, it's just so complicated. I don't know what the solution is.
I don't know. I haven't been feeling saying it, but I actually feel like some of these people actually are Amalek.
In the Tanya, there's, go ahead, yeah.
Well,
Why was Cave protected and no one could hurt him?
Oh, is it like the same thing as Samson and Delilah? Like they've got like a superpower, but when you cut the hair, you know, you lose your power.
I felt like that for a while. I didn't want to cut my hair.
I think girls are like that though, right?
It felt like a spiritual thing. I don't know. No, I cut my hair like 2 weeks ago.
I have this Jewish folklore book, and like even cutting your fingernails can be a like a magical operation in a way. Like there's, I think, days or times, or you know, there's ways to like dispose of your fingernails. I mean, if you're living in a shtetl and you're literally living by candlelight, every single object is important. Maybe even your fingernails. You know, no credit cards, no electricity. You know, every little thing is more real. I mean, even your fingernails are, um, you know, moments of the now, I suppose. I mean, you only cut your fingernails so many times before you croak.
But then what happens when you croak?
I don't know. I think you probably just get dispersed, you know, metaphysically. you just return to disillusion probably. It's probably like going to sleep. That would probably be the most accurate way I think to describe that.
Like anesthesia.
Yeah. I mean, if there is some type of reincarnation or afterlife or something, then it's just like waking up.
Comedian, have you seen Wicked Life?
Is that a movie?
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it.
I think you might like it.
Waking Life?
Yeah, it's rotoscoped.
Yeah, I think it's kind of one of his better ones.
Any big name actors in it? Let me look it up.
Yeah, but that's not the point, but yeah, they're big and minor. They had that guy from the cruise, what's his name, Speed Levitt?
They had a little bit of, who's the guy from InfoWars again?
Alex Jones.
Yeah, he appears.
I didn't even, I don't think I knew him at the time when he came out.
Yeah, me too.
Didn't realize he'd been around that.
Yeah,
That
I was working at Google as a contractor, and
You're working at what?
I was working at Google as an account manager. I was a contractor, and so
Yeah.
the head of global security shows up at our office, calls me into a meeting, and says, "Do you know why I've requested to have a meeting with you?" I said, "No." He said, "Is it because I looked up Donald Trump?" And he goes, "Did you look up Alex Jones?" And I was like, "Well, yeah. I mean, you guys just deplatformed him from YouTube." So they were literally, I mean, they were monitoring my computer
Wow.
because I looked up Alex Jones. Like that was like a security threat to them, and they terminated me because of that.
What year? They terminated you for looking up Alex Jones?
Yeah, yeah, a veteran. And I was like, "Are you?"
What?
Yeah, I'm a veteran. I'm like, how can you guys do this? I was like, I wasn't looking him up because I'm like an Alex Jones supporter.
You can't hear anything you're saying, and this seems important.
Was that after Sandy Hook?
No, say what you just said, because we can't hear you.
This was in 2018, maybe. Anyways, yeah. It was no big deal, but I was just like, I was so depressed because it was such a great job, best job I ever
How
had.
can that be allowed that they can do that just for looking something up? Well, you shouldn't have done it at work, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I should have been. That's the thing. Is like I was so stupid to think that like everything you do and say, you know, at Google was not completely monitored. So that was stupid of me.
Well, I mean, were you putting in long hours, or were you
Yeah.
inadequate in some way?
Oh no, I was tip top. I mean, but I will say, you know what was funny is they have a buffet on the roof, and they have lox and bagels, Belgian waffles, 4 types of grits, and so every morning I was just
Yeah,
like,
I've been to these places, including Google. Yeah, they have a whole kitchen, like a pantry full of food. So you don't leave, then you go back to your desk and eat something.
I know, but you know, at 11 a.m. after eating lox and bagels, I'm ready for a nap. I don't.
Yeah,
you get diabetes working there.
Yeah.
It was funny, but anyways, yeah, that was what happened to me, and you know everything. But I'm telling you, if you understand that everything that has ever happened to you was meant to happen to you, then it's like a positive reframe, and you know, because you could be very successful, like you said yesterday, and have a lot of money, but still be very depressed. And so without
That was
programming,
also part of our conversation. I followed up to DOGE/comedian. I said, do you know how many rich people I know that are miserable? And there are a lot, and I mean really rich. And then I said, use the same term that you were mentioning from the Tanya, a similar term, I should say, starving at the banquet. Go ahead, I just want to. You guys. What did you say, Doge?
yeah, that you know, you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have programming or you refuse any type of programming, your life is going to be miserable. It's like I had terrible back pain when I came out of the military because I had all this anxiety and stress. Um, and then I read this book called Dr. John Sarno's How to Cure Back Pain. And it's amazing how when you program your brain, it has physical outcomes. So it's like
the back pain goes away. That's a famous Howard Stern book.
yeah, yeah.
I know a lot of people into that book.
Yeah.
It's a little pamphlet. It's so easy. What's it called?
How to Cure Your Back Pain by Dr. John Sarno.
John Sarno is the author, and it's a little pamphlet. I thought it was called Heal Back Pain or something.
Yeah.
So many people have back. Some people go out.
It's very popular. It's very popular in yeshivas.
It is.
That book.
That's funny.
It's interesting because like we have.
So
Go ahead, Rico.
no, I was just gonna say that like in a lot of like really powerhouse yeshivas and don't allow college. Most of their bathrooms have how to influence and influence people, healing back pain, and a couple others.
Most of their bathrooms.
Is it John Sarno? Yeah, because it's not Torah. So when you're in the bathroom, the Chavetz Chaim says, well, what should you occupy your mind with? So one of the things was like books of substance.
Healing back pain, how to win friends and influence people, and what's the other one?
I have to remember, but books of that caliber.
You didn't just mention it?
What?
You didn't
No.
just mention it?
No, I said those two, and yeah.
About it.
Yeah, basically, some pretty big rabbis said that How to Win Friends and Influence People is an excellent Musar Sefer, like an excellent book for character development. And like most yeshivas devote like 20 minutes of study to Musar. I don't know if I was talking with Danny about that earlier today, but some of the classics are The Pain of the Just by Luzzatto and Michtav Miliahu from Ray Dessler. And Ray Dessler himself apparently read How to Win Friends and Influence People and incorporated a lot of Carnegie in Michtav Miliahu. It was post facto somewhat censored, and the references were made more oblique, so that because how could such a great rabbi be reading a secular book, and so on.
It's a good book.
I find the ultra wealthy people I know are happy, very much so. But they were happy before they were ultra wealthy too. Yeah. So I don't think it was changed by their becoming billionaires or whatever. I really wanted to post a link in the chat, but the chat's off for me. But I sent it to Danny. It's an article.
Turn it on.
Let me see. There.
Which book, the back pain?
No, it's an article written in my whole news feed.
I just bought the fascinating book and sent it to my son. Yeah, it's life changing actually.
I hope so. That would be amazing.
It is. It's not even that hard.
You know, I could tell the replays on and on.
Yeah, chat's
You
open.
can toggle what?
I could toggle read on and off,
Yeah.
but I can't tap. Oh, the chat's on now. Okay. So, oh, you do that, Ruben?
No, I did not have to have a montage.
Danny, I couldn't find the setting. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, when I read that book, I had terrible back pain. And literally just after reading it, I would say my back pain went down like 80% instantaneously, which to me is still like a trip to think that just by reading about what's causing back pain psychologically, how that can reduce the inflammation and how your brain, there's like, it's got to be a subconscious aspect to your being that you're unaware of. that is causing.
This is what cognitive behavioral therapy really leverages.
I read that AI is like changing their code, but like could humans change their code too, like themselves?
It's got to be education. I mean, you know, the more words you know, the more concepts you know. The more concepts you know, the freer you are. The more, you know, supreme you are in a way. I mean, there's a Supreme store here in Chicago near my house. I see people lined up down the street to go buy this expensive Supreme shit. I'm like, haven't you guys heard of the Torah?
You know about Supreme Spain?
I don't know. Supreme is a Spanish brand.
Someone like in Spain rushed to get this Supreme trademark. So like I don't think Supreme, I don't know if they're allowed to sell in Spain in the same way or it's just that the other company, Supreme Spain's able to like use the trademark.
It's amazing how people desire material possessions, but they're really not interested in intelligence or how to make themselves smarter. I mean, it's just that to me is like you're not investing in your body. You know, you're investing in these exterior goods because you have a dopamine deficiency.
You put your link so we could see what you're doing right now.
I'm icing my foot.
I saw you like bending down.
You know, I've had a lifelong fight back and forth between having things and having no things. You know, when my father died, I spent a lot of years sort of managing his stuff, and it makes me have a new feeling about stuff. Like, I don't want to have any stuff, but there's also this desire to both collect, which is kind of a set of weird satisfaction, and to have things that are nice. You know, you want to have nice things around you, but I don't want to have stuff. There's like clutters too, and those are always in conflict.
Yeah, I think you might like this piece I pushed through.
So,
No, this like psychedelic pen that is like right?
yeah, no, I saw that. It was a Apple News. I couldn't see it.
Oh, if you put the link into archive.is, you can read it. But basically, he had his life change around when he went on a DMT trip and was listening to an Alan Watts talk about, it was like a thought experiment. If you could be God and get to live any type of experience you wanted, at some point you'll have exhausted like all the really superficially enticing ones, and at some point you're going to put restrictions on yourself, and at some point you're going to be you living as you are right now. And he goes through like his periods of deprivation and his periods of wealth, and also not being happy wealthy, like not liking the clutter, and that whatever. A lot of the things we were speaking about, I think, dovetail with this guy's story. It's interesting.
You know, my brother was the Groundhog movie, and a lot of
Wrigley. His name is Dave Rubin? Danny Rubin, yeah. Oh, that one.
And a lot of what it was, where it came from was what happens if you live forever. You know, it's like living the same day over and over is a schematic way of saying what happens when you live forever and go through all those things until you become self-actualized.
Can I ask you a question? Does your brother live in upstate New York and like have a
Sorry, I lost you.
Does your brother live in upstate New York and have some kind of meditation group? Okay.
No, he's not meditation kind of guy. He's not a spiritual kind of guy.
I heard that there was some kind of Buddhist thing to that movie, to the
Well,
story.
there's a lot of, it's considered one of the great religious movies of all time, and a lot of different religions would claim it as articulating something about Christianity or Buddhism or Hinduism, a lot of stuff. Existentialism. He has a cool collection of letters from religious leaders who find it a great teaching movie. Cool. Yeah, thank you. I wish I agreed with it. The coolest thing to come out of it is that the word became a public, it gave new meaning to the term Groundhog Day. That was, to dictionaries as a term. That's, I think, the coolest thing out of it.
Do you think that technically we are all living that movie? And then the way that he gets out of the infinite repetition. Well, what I'm trying to say is that he became happy in the end and fell in love, and that's what ended, the never-ending story.
Well, he changed. He became lovable. He became okay with himself and things, and I don't know.
Well, he accepted his fate, and then he decided to become the best version of himself within the confines of the rules that he was living in.
Well, you're the only variable. You control everything. You decide what your life is. Right?
Well, there's also something, there's a saying that you'll only find the Blessed Holy Ancient One where a man and a woman are united. So the secret key activator of ending that repetition was the woman in the movie.
Well, but it's really that he became someone she could love,
Listen, John, wherever you go, there you are.
Well, he stopped being angry. That was the other thing. He was a road rager up until the end. Phil Connor?
Okay, let me tell you, okay. Sir, I am fall in love with Aya, a 5-year. I love her.
I'd be interested.
She's not talking to me.
Great. I'd be interested to hear what.
He seems to be
Surprised at this.
Danny, will you kick this guy to the go?
Cool.
I would be interested to hear what Bill Murray says about that movie, like what it means to him.
I think he and my brother are friends. And that's always interesting to me because he's a very unusual dude. I think he has always thought it was like one of the best things he'd ever did.
So what's your brother writing now?
Plays. Just finished plays.
Oh,
Well,
right.
first he worked with Tim Minchin. Do you know who Tim Minchin is?
Wow.
He partnered with Tim Minchin and they did a Broadway musical of it, which was really cool. And he really got into playwriting, so he's been writing plays.
Wow. Yeah. A couple other things because I'm really into that movie, that I read was that I guess he was supposed to have actually died, was it 10,000 times or something? There's like a magic number there, but then they kind of reduced it.
Not really. It's supposed to, in the end of his mind, it's 100 years.
Right.
It's many, many lifetimes. And there's lots of places in there where they just kind of blur over how many days it's been. You can count what it looks like it's doing on the screen, and of course it's sort of a finite number, but it really is a lot. Leslie the Queen is here. Yeah, it's a lot. It's meant to be a lot of lifetimes.
Yeah.
There was originally down how many days it's been. He can't mark on a wall because it's gone the next day. So he reads one page in the book. It just starts at one edge of the library. And there is a scene somewhere in there where he finished the whole library.
See, now that's a really cool concept.
That guy cut out.
Yeah, that's really cool.
But it was trying to emphasize the idea of why this is an exceptionally long time and not just a horrible weekend. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it is about enlightenment, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's about living forever. You know, Danny just read Interview with a Vampire, and we got into this thing about who are you if you live forever? What is your life about? And then the question became, it's really hard to figure out how to portray that in a movie, someone living forever. Usually you get caught up in the backdrop of time changing, like, oh, they're in the Middle Ages, oh, now they're in the Renaissance, oh, you know what I mean? It's like, and so you get caught in the scene of it, and you miss the point of someone living forever because it becomes about those logistics. And so Danny had this other idea about the time loop and realized that would be a way to live forever without having to concentrate on the backdrop.
Ah, that's genius. Yeah.
Yeah.
Highlander tried to do it
Right.
by going back and forth, right?
Yeah, lots of films have done time, someone living for a long time, but then it ends up getting stuck in history of some sort.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is he works desperately not to make it about the mechanism, like in Big or something, where you gotta solve. The whole movie becomes about trying to undo that thing. And they had made, Harold Ramis had wanted him to have what they called the angry witch, where he bumps into someone who puts a curse on him or something. So you got that happening, and he had to get rid of that. But it came out great.
I used to, John here, comedian, I used to actually watch him do live streams where he would actually be outside of his house, but eventually he just went into his house and never stopped streaming from his house, and now he's basically in a Groundhog Day. And we're all hoping for him to, exit the building again.
Well, it's a little bit like Clown House, The house is the metaphor for your brain. You got rooms, you got a fence, you got windows, so the whole thing is about internal illumination. And I would just encourage you to read the Torah and stop your anti-Semitic propaganda and political stupidity on this app. Yeah, Diego here is a vehement anti-Semite and thinks that. I mean, he's one of the nicer anti-Semites you might meet.
That reminds me of a friend who was told in something he had applied to that he was in the bottom 5% of everybody who had done this, and he really should go find something else to do. And he wrote them back, and it was like, I'm very competitive, and I'm just curious, would you say I'm at the top of that 5% or the bottom?
That's funny.
Who's this anonymous bitch down there?
It's a shrimp. It's a bottom feeder. They eat feces at the bottom of the ocean.
He probably stinks.
So Ruben, let me ask you a question. Do you think I looked at your website. Do you think photography, haiku, how do you what is a haiku to you, and what's the importance of haiku?
Give me a sec.
Where is he? Let me get arrested by nice guys. I'm not looking at my... I start snoring, excuse me, mute me or something.
Thank you. I think that a haiku is this little poetic form, right? It's has a number of structural elements. For instance, it has 3 lines, and it always has a break that makes basically 2 lines in 1 line. And so the nature of a haiku is it sort of is talking about sort of something from everyday life, and then it's usually just sort of drawing this image of a scene from everyday life, and then it has a kind of a left turn. And it's hard to describe a little twist, but it's the all-important thing that makes a haiku a haiku is the leaf. It doesn't just tell you something, it sort of alludes to something, and then you have this orthogonal thing at the end that makes you rethink it. And what I would say is that there's a big thing and a little thing, and when you notice the little thing, it changes the way you feel about the big thing. And I would also say the haiku are almost unnaturally simple. They're tiny, they have only 17 sounds in Japanese, and then they have kind of formality to them, a structure, a kind of real formal musical structure that, at the same time as it being structured, is also very natural. So like a bonsai, or like something, or ikebana, the flower arrangements, where they're formal, but they're also organic, they feel natural. So all of those attributes that I just described that are part of what haiku are about, and they're about time, they're about the ephemerality of time, the silliness of life, our fleeting nature in the world, and kind of taking joy in that. It's a sweet little flourish. It's a little gift made, like a little origami. So all of the things I just said can be, if you look at great photographs, they seem to embrace those ideas in how they look. They have usually something that's in frame and something else in frame. It's like the relationship of those two things is the nature of the image, the poetry of the image. They're almost a little unnaturally simple, but not artificially so, and so forth. And I studied the history of photography, and when I discovered haiku, I realized that all of those haiku principles really fit really well to all these photographs that people had done. And I think that the work that photographers do unconsciously to sort of simplify and to create these rhythms and stuff is, they don't know they're doing it, but it's unusually analogous to what a haiku is. And so I've been teaching for about a bunch of years this way of looking at photographs, and it changes the way people take pictures and makes it more fun, and you can appreciate pictures better. There.
Is it related? Is there any relation to the rule of thirds?
No. I disproved that also historically. I did a research paper on that, showing how that was an accidental creation, an abomination to photographers in general. And, a misunderstanding in the 50s of people writing about photography who made a mistake, and it got picked up by the army, and then it kind of came out in the 90s as this historical thing.
I'm not necessarily against what you're saying. And I'm not convinced that a good movie has a beginning, a middle, and an end either.
Sure, I would agree with you. People get very caught in these schemas, but, they're not really there.
Yeah.
Groundhog Day doesn't have 3 acts. People have often noticed that structurally it doesn't follow formal structure.
I mean, if I try to fit it into the box, I can think of the time before he gets into the loop, the time during the loop, and then the time when he gets out of the loop.
Well, you could kind of do that, but that's not how it's written. It has things in it that are shifts of other kinds.
Yeah.
But the point being, artists do stuff by instinct. You can sometimes discern some patterns in there, but I think that's sort of bullshit. bullshit. We fight signal and noise. That's what we're trained to do.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would say that the movie really starts when he gets suicidal. So that's the real story. Everything else is just build up to that, you know?
He bottoms out. That's what this guy bottoms out.
Do you think that's like what you would call the ego death? So do you think with your photography, like it can also be put into film essentially?
You can put into film.
Meaning that like your principles can also be done by filming.
Well, this is interesting. My brother and I have discussed this at length, that what I do in photography and what he does in screenwriting are very similar. And we're actually writing a stage play of the two of us working that out. That writing and photography have a lot, how we simplify, how you frame things, how you create delight, etc.
So what's the best plotted film that he hasn't written, in his opinion?
Oh, I don't know. There's a lot of great movies, structurally, like perfect films.
Yeah. Is there anyone that you guys agree on that he's mentioned?
I don't know. I think Galaxy Quest is a perfect film.
I love that movie.
I think it's like structurally perfect. I think The Graduate is a perfect movie, maybe. I don't know. We figured this out before, but I can't think off the top of my head. From a screenplay standpoint, that are just, and of course maybe anything by William Goldman, like Butch Cassidy or something.
Yeah.
That might be a perfect film.
Yeah, but the Burt Bacharach music takes me out of that movie.
Raindrops keep falling on your head. Okay, it didn't age perfectly, but it's hard to find movies. Like, I think Groundhog Day has aged very nicely. But there's a lot of movies that I remember loving. I've seen since and thought, shit.
Yeah. I really only watch old movies now.
Yeah.
Although,
I like movies, the old days.
Do you
say
think
Back to the Future. Say Back to the Future, strong contender for a perfectly structured story.
Sure. Jaws, maybe, also.
Yep.
Do you think like Galaxy Quest, coming out in '99? Do you think like that is the peak of American culture and wealth? Because just like with inflation now, I mean these movies with all the CGI, it's not really like in the flesh anymore. So
Well, it's
do you think
changed media. It's
have we
just changed
peaked?
the medium, a photography medium to a drawing medium. You can draw it, you can put it on screen. So cartoons can become movies. You used to have to be able to shoot it with a camera to make it into a movie, So it kind of changed the skill set and the opportunity.
Check this out. I just saw this on YouTube. This is wild because I'm a big Star Wars fan. So apparently in 1978 or 1977 they actually did the X-Wings with CGI as an experimental run.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that? That they.
I wrote the book about it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You mean like? I never heard about it. Is that the hidden history of Star Wars or any of those?
It's called Droid Maker.
Droid Maker. Okay. I had no idea. I feel like I've gone deep into the lore and the history.
As well as the world, isn't it?
Yeah. So
I have the photo of that, in fact, sitting here somewhere.
apparently he thought it was too clean. Is that's why he rejected it?
It was very clean.
Yeah.
It still looked computer generated, and they needed it to look like dirty space.
And then they went ahead and did they used some of that technology for the last Starfighter. That's what it said in the.
It's funny. I feel like that's just a paragraph from my book. I'm not sure.
I just think because like in this video that I saw, they said it had 60,000 polygons. So it's like, okay, some person, because they didn't have the computing power, so some person literally sat down and like arranged these things.
No, they had computer power, but it was slow going. They didn't hand map it. That's not how it happened.
Okay.
Here, look at where you might enjoy my other PTR. So there it is.
I read Hidden History. It's really fucking long, but it's so good. So I.
PTR.
Troy Baker. Let's see.
Looking for that. I have the last picture right here.
What am I looking at here? This is like a lamp.
It's a wireframe of a created Luxo Jr., which was the demonstration of Pixar.
Oh, okay.
That's Pixar's logo before it was the logo.
Right. But Pixar's logo, now we're talking late 80s.
That was 87. Yes, this is late 80s. You could do animation like that. Hold on, I'll pull up your last Starfighter here.
But I'm talking that's what was surprised me is that apparently they tried doing a 3D model in the 70s.
Well, tried it. Wait. You'll enjoy this story. Check out that book. I wouldn't say that to many people, but I think you would actually enjoy this. Where's my story?
Actually, Tim, you probably like The Last Starfighter because you're a pilot type of guy. The only thing that doesn't make sense about The Last Starfighter now is, okay, so they're recruiting a great pilot by having this video game, but then the question is, like, if they have all this technology, why don't they have AI? Why do you still need a human pilot or a living pilot? But I guess that doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's easier to say now. You know what's another movie I really like? Speaking of early CGI? Flight of the Navigator. No? Anybody? You guys ever seen videos of how they made that crazy CGI?
What was that?
I think it's like 86.
So what we want to look at is either Tron or the Genesis effect in Star Trek II, the Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
And the Star Trek II Wrath of Khan effect, the Genesis effect there, was the most pioneering of those because they invented particle effects to do it.
Yeah.
So those guys were, really inventing shit. But other people were just kind of doing some of
I think Spielberg had a show, what was it called? Amazing Stories or something? Had some CGI in that.
TV quality was 525. It was not film quality by orders of magnitude. So you would start to see effects in TV before features.
Yeah. Another interesting thing I saw from that Amazing Stories is that he did a dry run of the opening scene of Saving Private Ryan. He did a D-Day story in there with Charlie Sheen. Playing Beach.
Oh, here it is. Here, I'll put this in my PTR 1 second. This is the CGI version.
Tim, have you seen the Mission Impossible yet? I told you to go.
been chasing my tail. I've been on another car for my same car.
Oh, jeez.
You're PTR for that.
I don't know. Dude, this guy's brother wrote Groundhog Day.
Bro, he's fucking trolling. He told us he wrote Idiocracy too.
No, this is
Quit thinking.
no, this isn't no, to the Ruben guy.
Oh, Requit was like trolling us and they pretended that they wrote Idiocracy.
And I can't sleep and listen to. I think I've like calling to work, but I think I'm gonna have to chug like 10 Red Bulls today to function. Just kidding. Probably like 1 Red Bull and 3 cups of coffee. We'll be okay.
That's amazing. Yeah, if you're real quick, that's super cool. I love Bill Murray. But I'm like in a rush on this listen.
Did somebody come in the room and say my fucking name and wake me up? That's the shit they do at work. I'll be at work checking in a guest and they're like, Rosie, Rosie. And when I answer, I forget my mic is open. And they'll say, Rosie, Rosie, screaming their ass off, some of them men. And I'm like, I panic. I'm like, what's going on with my phone? And everything. Anyways, that's they're annoying.
It doesn't matter!
I don't know something funny anyway right now. Oh, you. Somebody wake me up. Or am I tripping?
Yeah, oh my god, so we went to watch phase 1 of the Avengers, and we finally finished Endgame yesterday. And I thought the funniest thing in Thor Ragnarok is how Thor keeps telling Bruce Banner, the sun is going down, the sun is going down. It's gonna be very down. It's like, I can't do the joke justice, but it's hilarious. It's like a way of him trying to soothe him from turning back into the Hulk. Very funny.
Ruben, have you ever heard of the author R.H. Blythe?
I haven't, and I'm actually gonna have to jump off in a second as a friend of mine's about to show up. But I'll try to hang on as long as I can. But no, I've not heard of that person.
Yeah, you gotta get his books. One is called Zen and Zen Classics. It's an amazing book, and I think it's right up your alley. It's got a lot of cool haikus in it, but it's a profound book. Let me get a link for you. Hold on.
Sorry guys, I'm having a bad day.
It's only 10 in the morning.
I'll be good in 2 hours. I gotta go to work in 2 hours.
You work at a hotel?
Oh yeah. The only place I'll ever work in my life.
What do you think about the show White Lotus? Accurate?
Are you asking me a question right now while I'm asleep?
Cool.
I'm just here to listen right now. I have nothing to contribute to your conversation. My voice, I can't even talk. Can you hear me? Like, it's breaking up, cracking. I'm about to punch somebody in the face. Anybody that approaches me in public is getting punched in the face. And I'm ready to go to jail. Oh, that's all I know. I don't give a fuck today. We're talking serious business here. We're not talking this Jew this, and I'm gonna fuck her that, and I'm gonna kiss her on the nut that, I'm gonna jack him off tonight. I don't talk like that here or anywhere. We talk business. So, I'm here to listen. What do we want to talk about today, folks? This anonymous bitch is still here, the short-looking motherfucker.
Look at mute up. Go to sleep.
I know. I'm just listening.
Doesn't seem
I'm asleep. Okay. Good night. mattress was like 3K. It's so comfortable. Oh my god.
Hey, you know, I got an idea for you for a movie. So it's like the movie Awakenings, except with middle-aged women on lithium.
On lithium. Not on lithium. That's a trip.
This is what my brother would say to me every time I tell him, like, oh, that's a great movie, you should write
That's
that.
fucked up. I would never. No, we'll do fentanyl instead.
No, just tell me it wasn't.
Really? Are you sure the Red Bull you had was actually Red Bull?
It's more like Coke. I'm just kidding. I don't do anything like that anymore. I'm not gonna about that.
I think someone tampered with your drink or something.
No, man. Nobody touches my stuff.
I highly doubt that, but okay.
Do you remember the movie Awakenings?
Yeah.
It's a good one. It's kind of forgotten. Sad. And apparently based on a true story, but I don't know.
Yeah, but Oliver Sack.
It's a movie called Awakenings. I don't watch movies. How do I? Is it on Netflix?
Rosie, I think what you need right now is not a movie, but an ASMR like video to sleep to, or maybe a head massage to put you into deep sleep. I feel like you want to sleep, but you just couldn't.
My brain won't shut down and I have to take 2 gummies. So my brain and my body
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
detached
about.
and I'm tripping balls. Just
Every time we talk about her sleep deprivation, we get more details of what she's done prior to this one.
But the good news is I go to work in 2 hours on no sleep. And I can go like 4 days with no sleep. So I'm more than good. I'm resting. I'm good. I have to whisper.
2 hours isn't enough.
No.
I know. It's better than nothing.
You sound like you're in a rave or something, like Tomorrowland. Like, I don't sound like you've had a normal day at all.
No, I've been sick.
Honestly, she sounds like a business's wet dream. If she can get the job done and she's fairly conscious, like, it's pretty good. She won't be asking for any raises, I'll tell you that.
You know the movie,
Robot. Yeah.
you know the movie The Hangover? There's a guy who's like, I see you cooking and chicken.
Yeah. You're gonna hop out of the truck.
You know that Asian guy, because I was talking about Endgame.
Yeah.
He's literally in Avengers Endgame, has no lines. He just plays a security guy, and he's standing there. He has no lines whatsoever.
I think he was literally like a dentist or something and just got a weird gig and suddenly became a movie star.
He is really funny, especially when he was flying in the sky and he was singing I Believe I Can Fly. With a parachute.
He's really funny in a movie that nobody knows called Don Ready, The Goods. I don't know, probably none of you guys have seen that, but with Jeremy Piven.
No, I've not seen that one.
Yeah, oh, that movie's so funny. It's kind of like a remake of Used Cars, another movie no one's seen, but
I mean, movies movies are sort of like secrets. A lot of us have movies that nobody else has watched, just right.
Yeah. It just costs millions of dollars
Yeah,
to make,
but-
so you think you'd want to show it to more than one person?
But come on, I mean, I'm talking. Of course, there's a demographic that the movies watch, but not everybody you meet necessarily has watched the movie that you've watched. Diego. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you think you can memorize a movie more than a book? I mean, to me, it seems like it takes a lot more active processing to do the book, so there's a higher chance that it's going to, influence you or make you more intelligent versus watching a movie.
It depends on the scene and the strength of the script. You know what I mean? So if there are scenes that you can more easy to do the strength and the sensation to be great, and that's what you try to develop the ones.
I mean, I guess what I'm saying is if you read, do you become more intelligent by reading the script or watching the film?
Depends on how you learn.
But it's always categorical, like what is the movie about? What genre is it? You know what I mean? If it was like some rom-com or like some, fangirling movie, then you're getting nothing out of that. But if it's a sci-fi movie or something that has to do with a chemistry project, then yeah, maybe.
I mean, I think the obvious answer is both. You read the script, you watch the movie, but I'm just saying, like, could you learn more from Groundhog Day by reading the script or by watching a movie or both? I mean, it's got to be both.
Well, screenplays are much more difficult to write than a novel, right? Because you only have between 90 to 120 pages. You have to be able to tell a full, well-told story in that amount of time. I think what happens with movies is that educated people, known as actors, deliver the lines usually the way that the writer intended, whereas if you read and you're not capable of understanding the intention of the writer, you may not understand the cadence or the meaning behind the words. Well, yeah, like there's many ways to deliver. I mean, pick your favorite movie with a good delivery. Like Jerry, Tom Cruise says, "You complete me." He says it slightly as a whisper, but you could deliver that line in a million different ways. But he did it, You guys talked over each other.
They whisper.
Saying that I'm Egyptian, I'm not even that.
Diego, when are you going to write the screenplay for a guy who creates a Bitcoin washing machine? Why don't seriously? I will help. I will help. Make me your co-producer, and we'll make your movie. And we'll hire Jared Leto to play it.
Jared Leto?
He was just named. I don't know if you saw this, but he was just named as being a serial pedophile.
What?
Yep. Look it up. It just came out in the news today. The quote is, "He likes him young." Nobody can hear you, brother.
So he's the new villain in the Tron movie, though. He's gonna make that movie fail.
In the Matrix.
Go look. Let me get you the news article. It's called The Cult of Jared Leto.
So you can't hear me and you can't talk. So what's the point of you making a better deal? I don't get it. What? Pardon me? What? I don't think you and I come from the same geographical location. I don't think so. I can't. Oh my gosh. Beggars have to be beggars anywhere they go in the world.
with Diego about the movie plan that you guys were drawing up?
It's just a joke. I mean, I'm indulging Diego's vanity.
What do you say?
I said I'm indulging Diego's vanity to see if I can, you know, fuck with him, basically.
I just wanted the other guy to shut up, basically.
Everybody kind of thinks like their life should be made into a movie. Hey, Saubermachen, I don't know if you know this, but nobody can actually hear you.
I don't understand, but you're talking from Germany, not the trenches toilet. Lift you what? What is Nazi? Nazis. Nazi, okay, Nazi, okay.
I don't speak your language.
Maybe you might want to go to a room.
Not because you spent 2 days in Germany, you're going to throw yourself out of the German. You're not. Just so you know, I hate to burst your bubble. You've literally been in Germany for like a few months, dude. You cannot cut anything to Germany. Bro, oh my god, I cannot believe this. You can be racist as much as you want.
Shut up, bro. You have the worst. Where are you from, you fucking packy? Shut up, I'll fucking do one out of your mouth.
He's actually from Egypt. He basically did not find a job in Egypt, so he basically traveled to Germany.
Oh, you're a Muslim?
You're
a fake African? That
I
believes in African gods? Wait, you're a fake African that believes in African gods. That means, do you know your pharaoh gods were black, right? So you're basically racist to your own gods.
There is no concrete evidence of them being black.
Okay, well, some of them obviously were. But like when you look at Buddha.
Okay, guys. No, we're not going to listen. Don't talk to anyone here. It's literally distorting the pictures of the picture of Egyptians out there, and I'm one of those people. So I'm not going to allow you to distort the image of my country with a shit that's been Germany for 2 days. This guy
Fuck your country.
This guy went to Germany for 2 days and took the flag of Dubai on Instagram.
They thought they hated it when they were over there.
Come on. You're going to be extradited back to your country pretty soon. Mark my words. I'm not a camera writer. Even if I were a camera writer, I'm better than you still. At least I'm an expat, not a fucking immigrant. I don't think Rose can sleep anymore. I think Rose is bad. You have a what, passport?
Hey, Tom, this room got really ethnic really fast.
Yeah.
No, it's not ethnic, Diego. It's not. It's just a guy that hasn't. What are cowards? I'm sorry, what? What are...
Are you fucking retarded? What fucking animals do that in Egypt, you fuckface?
Guys, mind you, this guy just literally traveled from Egypt to Germany, and he's forgotten that he comes from Egypt. Can you imagine?
What, do you guys have horses in Egypt, you retard?
No, I don't know what the fuck he's up to.
You guys eat camel humps in fucking Egypt too, you fuckface. Why are you acting stupid? Hey, we ride the camels, but over there from where you're from, you fucking eat them, huh?
I don't understand, but where I'm from, I've never seen a camel.
If I'm a faggot, then why'd I lay on your mom's mouth? You know why? You know why I'm being so mean to you? Because you're fucking. The way you speak, you just want me to lay on your mouth.
Abby, this guy had a camel for midwife when he was giving birth. Oh my God!
Doesn't even know what he's saying. Doesn't even know what he's saying.
I don't know it. Yeah, I don't
He just
know.
learned the English fucking alphabet or some shit.
You don't speak German either, by the way. Your German is shit. You just married.
Do you speak Arabic now? What are you, a camel rider?
You're flexing. You're flexing. That's all he knows.
You sound like you just took it from your uncle. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Were you molested as a child? Yeah, we are arrested.
Collaborating on about.
We don't know what you were saying. We have no idea. That's the thing.
What's up, bro?
You said when you have to get the word count in an essay.
Somebody mentioned,
What was it?
was it Abby?
Oh yeah, you guys can call me Babe, or you can call me Alec.
Alec, perfect. Abby, Alec, okay.
Wait, is that AI voice? Rosie,
What's happening to this?
are you making AI voice?
He made it.
What did you say? He has a
The waters are being stagnant to this.
Someone said you have an AI voice, Rosa.
That's what they kick me out. They're like, bitch, get out of my bitch. And you sound like Google voice.
Mine sound like a human voice.
I'm not sure about that.
This name, where are you from?
Oh my gosh, I hate saying it right now because
This is from the garbage of history, Alexander.
I'm from Alexandria, Egypt. Oh my gosh, bro, this guy right next to me right now, who was born and raised in Egypt, he's denying his heritage, where he comes from, just because he went to Germany for 2 days. You went to Germany for 48 hours, bro. Bro, you stepped in the airport and you deleted your fucking
Yeah, I'm
Instagram
from
profile.
Mesopotamia.
Oh, really? In Palestine? Iraq, right? Iraq.
No, both else.
Where are you from? Abby?
I'm from Lebanon.
Oh, I love Lebanese. Oh, I love Lebanese people.
It's okay, I love you too.
No, for real, I have so many Lebanese friends. You have no idea.
Me too. I love most people. I love Egypt.
But not that one. That breed is new.
Man, shut the fuck up. I'm talking to this name for a second.
I've seen a lot of like Lebanese beaches.
He's not gonna hook up with you, Abraham.
Seriously, stop it already.
Abraham, you've never met your...
Yeah.
Oh, are you from Norway?
Oh, you're from Norway?
Yeah.
Yeah, come my friend.
Yeah, see.
Okay, I'm leaving that room. It was degraded. So what do you think? Do you think they're gonna take over California? Like they declare martial law? No, they haven't, and it's not even close.
It takes a lot for the Mexicans to do this shit.
There's Mexican flags being flown in the streets. How do you feel about that, Diego?
I'm okay with it. I mean, we didn't cross the border crossed up.
Make California Mexico again?
Well, like, it always has been. But,
Yeah. Didn't even hit him. The fucking guy just fell backwards and knocked himself out. He jogged with it for like a good 30 seconds. This guy died. You know, he was trying to stop the car and he fell backwards while the car was basically kind of pushing him. But it's his own dumbass. You know, people fall and hit their head and die all the time. You did? I thought he died from that. Really? I'm pretty sure the article said he died.
No, I watched the video. I saw it. Okay. It's just Kitover and Sestina.
What are you doing today?
Working.
On what?
My freedom.
On Clownhouse, huh? That's not nobody. Anybody who says, "Oh, I'm working," this is just background noise. They are the biggest liars.
It is just background noise for me. Well, no, there are a bunch of people who have. I couldn't do it when I was working. I needed some task at hand.
Yeah.
I could not imagine. First of all, I was a boss and I saw someone working for me with their phone and shit plugged in. You know, I'd be like, no.
I do that.
I know, and like music, that's one thing. But people talking to their phone while they're working, like, no, I want your undivided attention. I'm just a mall cop, man. What? I'm just a mall cop. Yeah, mall cop. Paul Blart. Right? Was that his name? Yeah. Hey, Ken.
Yeah, so yesterday was very difficult for me to hear all the Jewish people making never mind.
Just say
I
it.
understand that. I understand that. It was too much.
Don't live in the
Each time I have
past.
a viral video, I would speak to my mind these more freely.
Oh, you're restricted now.
What, Diego?
That's how you got yourself into the video, is by speaking freely. I was trying to take more nuance issue. I think there were people a little bit more hardcore than me, and I was trying to.
I just felt like I was speaking to the settlers that harass and burn the land put on Clubhouse.
You know, these are settler wannabes, so no one in this app is a settler burning down in their mind. Okay, the board's almost there. Yeah. Daniel's almost there, though. You know it. Who? Daniel's on the payroll. He's not on the payroll.
What is Norm? And then.
These are little hearts.
What's wrong with being a settler? I mean, it's a valid question. I mean, what do you think America is?
It's against international law, the settlements.
I know, you know, but America didn't belong to the settlers. It belonged to the people that they ran off the land. You must have the N-word Tourette syndrome.
Yeah, you know, there's one key, like, it's one paragraph long, and it says, you know, creating a homeland for Jewish people shall be done, which may, nothing, it should be clearly understood that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine, or the rights to political status enjoyed by Jews in any other country.
That's a letter, but the problem is it says non-Jewish. It doesn't even identify who they are.
Well, that's everybody who's not Jewish.
Yeah, I know, but the language itself is telling on it. It's telling the way that it's
written to Jews, and they're saying that you can't fuck with a non-Jew. That's what it says.
No, it's saying, I'll read it in its entirety, because it's one paragraph, it's 30 seconds long. His Majesty's government view with favor the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people, and will use their best endeavors to facilitate the achievement of this object, okay? It being clearly understood that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine. So they want to do something, but not at the expense of other people. That's pretty simple and even-handed.
Okay, so what happened first?
No, you said what about the Balfour Declaration? I'm just speaking of the Balfour Declaration.
Yeah, so
Throw it up.
what happened?
everybody calm down.
Yeah.
So Nora, you don't want to speak your mind. You want to speak when spoken to, as
Yes,
a
sir.
good woman would.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I didn't say
Speaking your mind is exactly how you ended up in that mess.
You are right.
And the reason is, go ahead, yeah.
No, speaking doesn't get you into the mess.
Women are not good at reasoning. So the more they open their mouth, the more foolish they look.
But again, talking doesn't get you into that problem.
No, the expression is, you see that fish on that wall there? You know how it got there? It opened its mouth.
Can't hear you, man.
Whether or not she lunged out and reached at some guy, she was still, the video was still going to be the exact same thing. The speech matters.
Yeah, speech. Yeah, but not from a legal standpoint. You can't get arrested for speech.
Effectively in America, you can.
You can't, yeah, if you can make a specific threat against a specific individual at a specific time. That's the Supreme Court test.
Nora, have you had anybody come up to you and say, "Are you Nora from that video?"
No, because it doesn't look like me.
It won't look bad.
It's been 48 hours.
No, that she's admitting to being a catfish is basically what she just said.
Nora, it's
No,
been
it's
at
the
least
opposite.
40. It's been at least 48 hours since the good news come through.
No, I don't have any answers.
Since what, 48 hours? Since what time? No, I couldn't hear you.
So Tim, what's it like having a midlife crisis and buying another car that you don't need?
Jews have to do it.
It's bad karma. It's bad, like,
Juju is fucking around.
I like my Jews.
You have to open it for days of
Or like
this.
Orange, I like them orange Jews.
No, I'm like juice and pears. What?
That's, hey, more the merrier. Meet them all.
Diego became Jewish.
You know, I get $500 finder's fee if he confirms. So, can I
It's
claim
good.
for that?
You know, see his profile picture?
Oh,
It's terrible.
and it's that same guy from the 1950s.
Okay, PTR now.
He's on your side now, go.
Oh, yeah. But wait, he's not wearing a yarmulke. He's not on our side. Put a yarmulke. What happened? Come on, put a yarmulke on
Hey,
there.
where's the black Jew?
He's right there.
Really? So I can, okay. Right. I'm not getting fucking killed.
Yeah, don't get killed over a Jew.
Over a black Jew.
We have a phrase in my country which says, closed mouth does not, flies come in.
Wait, I never heard that phrase. I live in...
Oh, keep your mouth closed now.
It's a Spanish thing.
Wait, I thought you were from the U.S. Born in the U.S.?
Yes, but it's like, the difference is that I don't like, yeah, I understand when people say, where do you come from? I understand what those questions mean. Like,
I know,
where you
in my country, like, I'm assuming you were
You've got
from
multiple
this place.
identities. The Jews have a homeland, right? So does he.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm an American, not an Israeli.
Did you see that in Spain, Yakov, they started putting they started putting free Gaza on the lights, traffic lights?
Do you believe
Yeah,
it? I
it's
saw that
Barcelona.
it was real.
Oh yeah, I took a bus. I was in like a bad part of town today, and I took a load of photographs of like Palestinian girls for you.
Oh, Tim, I forgot to ask you. So, what's the deal? Are you guys on the brink of civil war, like in the actual Ireland? Like,
Good.
it's all over the news. Like the people are fighting the cops.
Oh, in Ireland?
Yeah, over the Muslim thing.
Okay. Yeah, but that'll be outside. That'll be I think in Mexico for us.
Yeah. No, but they're saying on the news that they're on the brink of civil war.
Good.
It's fun,
Then they need to aim their fire at good matters.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's okay if I speak, Pastor Diego?
Sound like that?
Oh wow, Diego, you have conditioned this one quite well. Congratulations.
Well, the question is, has he been called professor yet? All Diego's communication is 6,000. That's right.
This is so
Hey, Julie, if anyone has hypnotized someone in the staff, it's Diego hypnotized Nora. Right?
If you think about it,
Nora literally was not herself, right? She didn't look like herself.
you foreshadowed that event. He sent me a video of a crazy girl in a car screaming. Do you remember when he sent me that?
I
You were like, I found Nora, and then recorded it from Aspen. You hit my head. Jacob, I wanted to read to you about what he said from the Balfour Declaration. So this is from Khalidi. He writes, significantly, the overwhelming Arab majority of the population, around 94% at that time, was unmentioned by Balfour, except in a backhanded way as the, quote, existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine. They were not described in terms of what they were not. They were described in terms of what they were not, and certainly not as a nation or a people. The words Palestinian and Arab do not appear in the 67 words of the Declaration. This overwhelming majority of the population was promised only civil and religious rights, not political or national rights. By way of contrast, Balfour described national rights to what he called the, quote, Jewish people, who in 1917 were a tiny minority, 6% of the country's inhabitants.
It was not written Palestinian. It's not meant to be fucking operative. You know, it doesn't matter if it offends, right? It wasn't meant for Palestinian eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
So when the fucker Palestinians getting upset with the fucking wording to Jews, it said non-Jews. So they're communicating to the Jews. Anybody that's not Jews shall not be infringed, basically.
Right.
Right.
They're telling you you can do something, but not at the expense of these other people.
6% of them.
Well, it turns out to be 11% after Jordan was cleaved off. But yeah, at that time it was 6.5%, but ultimately it was 11% of the area west of the Jordan.
I'm going to bring it up there. No, right to be untouched, unharmed.
Do what they wanted.
That's right. So what ended up happening?
Yeah, the audience to this letter was told, here's what we think we're supporting, but you can't run hog wild at the expense of the other people. It's exactly protecting the other people.
Right. But then they started bombing the Cuban hotel, and they didn't give a shit.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Okay, back to California,
They invented modern terrorism. And those very people were elected into government.
A lot earlier than that.
1940s, bro.
Oh, it goes back.
Actually, modern terrorism was invented by the Bolsheviks in the Russian Revolution. You should know a little.
And it goes back earlier than
Really?
that.
You mean that's Jews as well?
Open a book.
There were people sabotaging the Romans. There were people
Tell me more.
sabotaging the Romans. Colonial times when the Romans were there.
Modern terrorism was invented by El Nasr's nose.
Oh no.
Clubhouse terrorizes cocaine.
People who read books, people who like animals, like this.
You plagiarize books, you coward, with your nose.
Is it reading time at Rikers Island? He's the
Feeding time to Rabbi's Bigfoot. Look at the little boys. Hungry. Hungry for little boys. They're hungry for little boys. Time to start the bubble bath at the Bigfoot.
feeding time.
Get undressed time. Come on now. Jump up in there with the little boys. It's the Epstein bath. It's the Epstein bath. Come on, jump up in there, Nasser, with your leopard spin speedos. Jump up in there with your leopard spin speedos. Come on. Does it have the tassels on the side of them, by the way?
That's illegal.
Come on,
Oh man.
When he shakes, he just does a little jingle.
Thank you for our correspondent from Rikers Island.
Hey.
From the synagogue of Rikers Island.
You can have another bologna sandwich.
I'm reporting straight from the synagogue of Rikers Island.
Resistance, are African Americans the true black Hebrew Israelites?
Why would I give a fuck if they are or not?
I'm just asking you.
Nah, they just colonizers like they're probably colonizers like the European Jews.
What's your religious background, Resistance?
Islam.
Oh, you're a Muslim?
Now, before that, before you reverted. He's a violent criminal, actually.
I didn't really particularly have a fair. I had whatever my parents told me to
He's
do.
also an informant, by the way, for the FBI.
Ooh, he's a snitch.
He's a snitch. He's a professional snitch.
Yep.
Oh, so does he rat on? Who does he rat on? Muslim Islamic terrorists?
Okay, hold on. I'm the one who brought down the whole Jewish ring of the organ sellers and the child pornography. I brought them down. I'm the one who justified against the Jews. I'm the one who brought down the Jews.
Okay.
Yes.
How old were you when you reverted?
16.
Did you just recently march for Malcolm X? You didn't go to the Malcolm X march in Brooklyn?
Come on. My parents are living well and great.
Absolutely true.
Swear on the ship. Swear on the ship.
Rumble.
Swear on the ship.
Square Park. Is there going to be a 2.0 version of that, or?
For what? His nose could be flying, his mouth in the way. Yeah. I was trying to understand. He was scared, man. He's a lot of
I was
drugs.
a fat cow. I was hiding on 11th Street inside of the mud. Remember
This
that?
guy, hold on. I think I got the pictures. I still got the picture of him that day. Monster was so high that day, and he was with training.
I'm asking somebody who can't find Washington.
I was gonna clean my room.
Imagine. He's thinking it's on 8th Street.
That's right.
No, he couldn't find it. He thought it was on 8th
I was
Street.
gonna go on you.
Well, it's on 8th Street. What's that? It's not on 8th Street. Yeah, below it. My mom, who can't read and math, my mom is illiterate at university.
Yeah, I used to terrorize people in that park all the time.
Are you doing that? You were thinking of working at Eastman?
You know, I retired. I was in the Army. That's what we had.
Committing crimes now?
No, I was committing crimes.
What about the one who you
Yoku, do you know how the criminal jurisprudence system works in the United States?
What about that
especially in New York?
It's what the development says.
Do you know a little of the concepts?
He thought he was a Jew. He thought Yosef was a Jew. Do you still think he's a Jew?
Yoku.
Do you still think he's a Jew?
Yaakov, whatever. Do you know a little bit how the jurisprudence and law works here in New York City? A little?
What? Just a little, yeah.
Okay. When someone accuses you of a crime, correct? And let's just per se the district attorney tries to pick up those charges and try to indict you. If 12, yes. If 12 jurors hears this case and they find that what you presented, your attorney of course, was to be the facts and they acquit you, what does that mean?
You're criminally innocent, but you can't still be civilly guilty.
Oh, well, we're not talking about civil. We're not talking. We're just talking about what the facts are. Let's deal with the facts are for now. There's nothing civil happening. When Yosef Hadad got punched in the face, he pressed charges.
Yeah.
I was arrested.
And you did it, correct?
And I went to trial for the case. The ultimate result of the case was an acquittal. What does that mean, Yoku? Yoku, what does it mean? Can you explain it to El Nostro?
You cop when people
I acquit you. What does that mean?
Didn't you think he was a Jew?
He is a Jew. He's an Israeli Jew.
No, he's a Christian.
No, you're right. He's an Israeli Jew.
He's an Arab Christian journalist. Look it up right now.
He's a coward Israeli
Can we
Jew.
look it up right now?
I need to look it up.
The case so I can investigate. Yes, his name is Yosef Hadad, and this gentleman's name is Eva Egelot. ESSA-EJELAT.
And when you look it up, you'll see some point to
Hang
it.
on. He brought Yosef Hadad in the face from his surprise him.
Why are you trying to say insult him? No, I did not struck him. I knocked his tooth out his mouth.
Right in his
I
face.
jawed him. Say what it is.
You're a violent criminal.
It's impossible. Why was I acquitted?
And he was excused Excuse me,
No,
if I was
that's not
acquitted, if I'm violent, no. Answer the question. If I was acquitted, how am I violent? No. Answer the question, Onasu. Onasu, you gotta let the coke come out your nose. Look it up. If I was acquitted, how am I violent? Explain it, please. Excuse me, Mr. Columbia University. If I was acquitted, how am I violent? You just said you're not to do that, didn't you? Yeah, and that's called self-defense, according to what the jury thought. You didn't mount for self-defense. Then how did I get acquitted? You come to plead, we're not acquitted. You sound like a fool. I went to trial. It says it on the papers. You did not go to trial. You don't have the papers. You're just a liar. You're just a violent criminal. You go to trial before the jury comes in. A plea arrangement can be arranged, so you can go to trial. We don't believe in pleas when we're fighting against terrorists. I know, and I'm just saying, we're fighting against an Arab Christian. An Arab terrorist, an Arab Jewish terrorist. He's a Christian. He's a Jew. He's Joseph Haddad. He's an Israeli, exactly. Joseph Haddad, an Arab Israeli Mossad agent. Joseph Haddad is an Israeli Mossad agent. He got his jaw tapped. And I beat the case. And guess what else? I had a Jewish lawyer. And I gave him my lawyer's name before. He knows it. I used my own way, the Jews, to beat the Jews. He's not a Jew. He's a Christian Arab. I used the Jews to beat the Mossad agent from Israel. But he's not a Mossad agent. What's your lawyer's name? He is a Mossad agent. What's your lawyer's name? You don't remember? What's your lawyer's name? I'm not telling you again. I already told you before. How did you don't remember? Of course I do. He's a great Jewish lawyer. He's one of the best actually in Manhattan. He's done some of the greatest cases. His most famous case, I'll give you a hint. His most famous case was in the 80s. What's his name? I'm giving you a hint now. Sure. You can look it up. I don't think you remember his name. His most famous case in New York City was in the 80s. And it happened to do with, in the 80s, there was a, this is how ironic this is, how crazy it is. A white Jewish man was in a train. He happened to have a closed firearm on him. And 4 guys tried to rob him. Very famous case, because he got him off. When they tried to rob him, he shot those 4 people in the train, and he was acquitted. That's how lawyers. Are you going to follow? Are you going to commit more crimes? I am definitely going to continue my diligence to beat the crap out of any Zionists who are harassing any pro-Palestinian protesters. You're going to beat the crap out of Zionists, right? Terrorists. Out of terrorists, yes. No, you said Zionists. Zionist terrorists. So you're going to beat the crap out of Zionists, right? Terrorists, yes. You're going to beat the crap out of Zionists? Out of terrorists, yes. Which one? Zionists are terrorists. Hold on, but which one? Are you going to make a distinction? A role Zionist terrorist? A role terrorist Zionist? All Zionists are terrorists. So you're going to beat all Zionists? But not all terrorists are Zionists. You're going to beat all Zionists, correct? All terrorists are not Zionists, but all Zionists are terrorists. So you're going to beat all Zionist stuff, right? Yacoub, do you see that new poll? Yes, I'm not sure. He terrorizes cocaine a lot. You're going to beat all Zionists? Did you see that new poll out of Israel? 83% agree with the genocide and ethnic cleansing of the Gaza. Now, you were just talking, right? You're just a bully. You're not really going to bother anybody, right? They typically the war aims to you're not going to touch anybody, right? You're just hold on. That's what your people are always accused of. Don't try to put that on us. You're always touching somebody. You're just a liar, right? You're not going to touch anybody, are you? How I got acquitted. El Nostro, explain to the people how I got acquitted. You've been arrested numerous times. How did I get acquitted? Exactly. You could be arrested. That don't mean you're a crime. Yes, anyone can get arrested. People get arrested for allegations. Doesn't make you a criminal. It doesn't make you anything. Just because the cops detain you, does not mean you have committed a crime. Yes, I was doing it. It's called self-defense. Self-defense. You didn't say it was self-defense. Of course I did. How do you think I'd be trapped? You didn't beat the trial. Yacoub, you want to know the particulars? Because this is how ironic it is. 2 beautiful Jewish protesting women at Columbia University, they were the ones getting harassed by him initially. 2 white Caucasian
Asian Jews drunk. Go look at the paperwork, you'll see they came and testified how he was drunk. No, they didn't. He was violently disrespecting them with words, and as he was yelling at them, spit was coming out of his mouth, and that's what hit them. So when I got involved, and yes.
Influenced by U.S. economic
The only word is silence. The only meaning of that word is not. Thoughts are false. Fatherhood is unity disguised as duality.
Like 10 seconds, okay?
Peace implies
that's who the fuck you are?
power.
That's what the fuck you want in your raggedy ass Discord?
Harmony
If so, I'm not a salesman anymore.
victory.
I'm not pushing your shit
War.
anymore.
Glory.
You can get Shalos to push that shit in.
Foundation. Whatever they war. Alas, for the kingdom wherein all these are at war. Chapter 6. Caviar. The word was uttered. The one exploded into 1,000 million worlds. Each world contained 1,000 million spheres. Each sphere contained 1,000 million planets. Each planet contained 1,000 million stars. Each star contained many thousand million things. Of these the reasoner took 6, and, preening, said, "This is the one and the all." These 6 the adept harmonized, and said, "This is the heart of the one and the all." These 6 were destroyed by the master of the temple, and he spake not. The ash thereof was burnt up by the magus into the word. Of all this did the Obsessius know nothing. Chapter 7. The Dinosaurs. None are they whose number is 6, else were they 6 indeed. 7 are these 6 that live not in the city of the pyramids, under the night of Pan. There was Lao Tzu, there was Siddhartha, there was Krishna, there was Tahuti, there was Moshe, there was Dionysus, there was Mahmud. But the 7th men called Perdurabo, for enduring unto the end, at the end, was not to endure. Amen. Chapter 8. Steeped horsehair. Mind is a disease of semen. All that a man is or may be is hidden therein. Bodily functions are parts of the machine, silent unless in disease. But mind, never at ease, creaketh eye. This eye persisteth not, posteth not through generations, changeth momently, finally is dead. Therefore is man only himself, when lost to himself in the charioting. Chapter 9. The Brinks. Being is the noun, form is the adjective, matter is the noun, motion is the verb. Wherefore hath being clothed itself with form? Wherefore hath matter manifested itself in motion? Answer not, O silent one, for there is no wherefore, no because. The name of that is not known. The pronoun interprets, that is, misinterprets, it. Time and space are adverbs. Duality begat the conjunction. The conditioned is father of the preposition. The article also marketh division, but the interjection is the sound that endeth in silence. Destroy thereof the 8 parts of speech. The 9th is nigh unto truth. This also must be destroyed, before thou enterest into the silence. Chapter 10, Whittle Straws. The abyss of hallucination has law and reason, but in truth there is no bond between the toys of the gods. This reason and law is the bond of the great lie. Truth, 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 crieth the Lord of the abyss of hallucinations. There is no silence in that abyss, for all that men call silence is its speech. The abyss is also called hell, and the many. Its name is consciousness and the universe among men. But that which neither speaks rejoices therein. Chapter 11, The Glowworm. Concerning the holy three and not, knew it, had it, Ra or Kuit, are only to be understood by the master of the temple. They are above the abyss, and contain all contradiction in themselves. Below them is a seeming duality of chaos and Babylon. These are called father and mother, but it is not so. They are called brother and sister, but it is not so. They are called husband and wife, but it is not so. The reflection of all is Pan. The night of Pan is the annihilation of the all. Cast down through the abyss is the light, the rosy cross, the rapture of union that destroys. That is the way. The rosy cross is the ambassador of Pan. How infinite is the distance from this to that, yet all is here and now, nor is there any there or then, for all that is, what is it, but a manifestation, that is a part, that is a falsehood, of that which is not. Yet that which is not neither is nor is not that which is. Identity is perfect, therefore the law of identity is but a lie. For there is no subject, and there is no predicate, nor is there the contradictory of either of these things. Holy, holy, holy are these truths that I utter, knowing them to be but falsehoods. Broken mirrors, troubled waters, hide me, O Our Lady, in thy womb, or I may not endure the rapture. In this utterance of falsehood upon falsehood, whose contradictories are also false, it seems as if that which I utter not were true. Blessed, unutterably blessed, is the last of the illusions. Let me play the man and thrust it from me. Amen. Chapter 12, The Dragonflies. I-O is the cry of the lower, as O-I of the higher. In figures they are 1001. In letters they are joy. For when all is equilibrated, when all is beheld from without all, there is joy, joy, joy that is but one facet of a diamond, every other facet whereof is more joyful than joy itself. Chapter 13, Pilgrim Talk. O thou that settest upon the path, false is the phantom that thou seekest. When thou hast it, thou shalt know all bitterness, thy teeth fixed in the Sodom apple. Thus hast thou been lured along that path, whose terror else had driven thee far away. O thou that stridest upon the middle of the path, no phantoms mock thee, for the stride's sake thou stridest. Thus art thou lured along that path, whose fascination else had driven thee far away. O thou that drawest toward the end of the path, effort is no more. Faster and faster dost thou fall. Thy weariness is changed into ineffable rest. For there is no thou upon that path. Thou hast become the way. Chapter 14. Onion Peelings. The universe is the practical joke of the general at the expense of the particular. Quoth Frater Père Durabo, and laughed. But those disciples nearest to him wept, seeing the universal sorrow. Those next to them laughed, seeing the universal joke. Below these certain disciples wept, then certain laughed. Others next wept. Others next laughed. Next others wept. Next others laughed. Last came those that wept, because they could not see the joke. And those that laughed, lest they should be thought not to see the joke, and thought it safe to act like Frater Père Durabo. But though Frater Père Durabo laughed openly, he also at the same time wept secretly. And in himself he neither laughed nor wept, nor did he mean what he said. Chapter 15. The Gun Barrel. Mighty and erect is this will of mine, this pyramid of fire whose summit is lost in heaven. Upon it have I burned the corpse of my desire. Mighty and erect is this phallus of my will. The seed thereof is that which I have borne within me from eternity, and it is lost within the body of Our Lady of the Stars. I am not I am but a hollow tube to bring down fire from heaven. Mighty and marvelous is this weakness, this heaven which draweth me into her womb, this dome which hideth, which absorbeth me. This is the night wherein I am lost, the love through which I am no longer I. Chapter 16. The Stag Beetle. Death implies change and individuality. If thou be that which hath no person, which is beyond the changing, even beyond changelessness, what hast thou to do with death? The bird of individuality is ecstasy, so also is its death. In love the individuality is slain. Who loves not love? Love death therefore, and long eagerly for it. Die daily. Chapter 17. The Swan. There is a swan whose name is ecstasy. It wingeth from the deserts of the north. It wingeth through the blue. It wingeth over the fields of rice. At its coming they push forth the green. In all the universe this swan alone is motionless. It seems to move, as the sun seems to move. Such is the weakness of our sight. O fool, criest thou. Amen. Motion is relative. There is nothing that is still. Against this swan I shot an arrow. The white breast poured forth blood. Men smote me. Then, perceiving that I was but a pure fool, they let me pass. Thus, and not otherwise, I came to the temple of the Grail. Chapter 18. Dewdrops. Verily, love is death, and death is life to come. Man returneth not again, the stream floweth not uphill. The old life is no more, there is a new life that is not his. Yet that life is of his very essence. It is more he than all that he calls he. In the silence of a dewdrop is every tendency of his soul and of his mind and of his body. It is the quintessence and the elixir of his being. Therein are the forces that made him, and his father and his father's father before him. This is the doom of immortality. Let this go free, even as it will. Thou art not its master, but the vehicle of it. Chapter 19. The Leopard and the Deer. The spots of the leopard are the sunlight in the glade. Pursue thou the deer stealthily at thy pleasure. The dappling of the deer is the sunlight in the glade. Concealed from the leopard, do thou feed at thy pleasure. Resemble all that surroundeth thee, yet be thyself, and take thy pleasure among the living. This is that which is written, lurk, in the book of the law. Chapter 20. Samson. The universe is in equilibrium. Therefore he that is without it, though his force be but a feather, can overturn the universe. Be not caught within that web, O child of freedom. Be not entangled in the universal lie, O child of truth. Chapter 21. The Blind Webster. It is not necessary to understand. It is enough to adore. The God may be of clay. Adore him. He becomes God. We ignore what created us. We adore what we create. Let us create nothing but God. That which causes us to create is our true father and mother. We create in our own image, which is theirs. Let us create, therefore, without fear. For we can create nothing that is not God. Chapter 22. The Despot. The waiters of the best eating houses mock the whole world. They estimate every client at his proper value. This I know certainly, because they always treat me with profound respect. Thus they have flattered me into praising them thus publicly. Yet it is true, and they have this insight because they serve, and because they